Hi, this is Sonia, and this video is kind of about my art journaling slash regular journaling foray that I've kind of taken lately, and I just wanted to show what I've kind of done. So I joined the Documented Life, or my Documented Life project, in December, and it's a way of incorporating a planner, a journal, and artwork all into one. But since I have my trusty ringed planner, I didn't incorporate any of the planner aspect, and I have never been a journaler in my life. So I kind of intended to skip the journaling and just do the artwork or the art challenges. So every week they give you a challenge, and it's like incorporate some recycling material or paint a picture of yourself or something like that. So every week they give a challenge. And so the idea is that, let me see if I can flip. So on one side you would plan, and then you would also journal, and then you would paint on the other side. And so every week for the year you would have kind of something to look back on that would show what you did. And so I joined that in December, and I set up this book. But about a month ago, I found that I actually really have enjoyed journaling, and I have, like I said, never been a journaler in my life. But I found that I was running out of room in these lines to journal, so I wanted to get more of just a space where I could just journal instead of trying to fit it into those lines. So I'm not going to show you my artwork because it's, not great or anything. So one thing that I had seen around was the Midori, which is Midori Traveler's Notebook, which is a way of like using rubber bands to hold your journals in place, and then you can easily swap them out. But I wasn't sure that I was going to continue with the journaling, so I wanted to find something else that I could kind of make mine. So what I did was I looked online, and I saw people that were kind of doing homemade versions. So I painted this paper, and I put several coats of gesso on it to make it really hard. And then I glued it to more cardboard and put duct tape down the center so that when I punched the holes for the rubber band, it wouldn't rip. But as you can see, when I folded it, the paper ripped apart. So don't try that. It didn't work for me. Other people said that worked for them, but it didn't work for me. So I decided to try to make a Midori out of my A5 Flex because I had planned to use the large moleskin cahiers, or however you say it. Basically the size of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper folded in half. I thought that would be the perfect size for me to write, and actually here's one right here, and they fit inside an A5 Filofax Flex perfectly. So I decided that I would try to make a Midori out of it, and it worked perfectly if you put the rubber bands around the outside of the spine, and I could have punched holes into the Midori and it would have been exactly perfect, but I love my Flex too much to put holes in it, and I don't have any extra ones anymore, so I gave it to my dad. So I decided not to do that, but that might be something I do in the future. I looked around my house and I found this, it's like a vinyl cover to some kind of Barnes & Noble planner that I think I had like 10 years ago, and I just kept the cover around because it seemed durable and I would use it someday, and I did. So I just punched holes and threaded the stretchy string that you can buy at the craft store through it, and you can, if you do a search for Midori, you can find all kinds of videos that show you how to set them up if you want to make your own. So anyway, this is mine, and I have 3 sections. I'll start with the left section is where my journal is, and I'm just gonna kind of go through it quickly. So promise not to pause and read anything. I took 2 A5 size Ziploc pouches and just washi taped them together and put them on the outside to hold like pictures that I want to use, or fortune cookies, or little quotes from magazines, or whatever that I want to glue inside. So the left section, like I said, is my journal. And one thing that I found was that if you use the notebook paper, the rubber bands will kind of rip it at the top and the bottom because they want to scrunch together. So what I've done is I cut this sheet of like heavy cardstock a little bit taller than the paper, and I put one sheet in around the back and one sheet in the center. So then the rubber band kind of pulls on those and it doesn't rip into the top and bottom of the paper. I also decided after a couple days that I really wanted to be able to change things up and use my painted papers or scrapbook paper or whatever I wanted to use. So I took out all the sewing on the edge of one of these, and so I just used that paper, and I use, let's see, here's my pile to use on the inside. I have just piles of like painted and stenciled paper from a jelly plate. I've got some other painted stuff. I've got random little notebooks that I could use. I have this notebook that I've ripped pages out of. Just all kinds of little paper. I also have shopping bags that I cut up, just paper shopping bags or gift bags that I cut up and write on. So this is kind of my pile of things that will work its way into my Midori at some point. But anyway, so you'll see there's just all kinds of paper. And I think I've got about 15 sheets in here right now. So I decided I'm not going to keep adding pages. I'm going to finish off that section and then I'll start a new section, and somewhere I'll put these to hold, or I don't know. But anyway, so I'll just kind of flip through it quickly, and I just like paint and add things. Here I didn't want anyone to ever read what I wrote, so I just put it on a piece of paper that was too busy to read. So yeah, there's a lot of painting. Let's see. Here I stamped onto deli paper, and I was just trying out some of my different paints to see what would paint well on a piece of deli paper. So yeah, just washi tape and pictures, and I drew a school bus. So that's what I've got going on the left side. And then the middle, I just have some extra sheets. So some more painted papers, some scrapbook paper. These are gessoed papers, so if I wanted to do watercolors or paints. And then some of the lined paper and just some plain paper. So I can pull these out. Like if I decide I wanted to write on this shopping bag, I just pull it out of the middle section and just put it in. Put it in there. And then I could write on that. So that's the middle section. And then the right section is just some plain paper for kind of keeping some quotes. And here I was doing an inventory of the different watercolors I have. Here I bought a coloring book of tattoos, and I copied it onto watercolor paper so I can just kind of color it with my watercolors when I want to. And anyway, so that's my little faux Midori. And I think I put sequins on it and I crazy glued them, but they're coming off. But I think that now I've been pretty much journaling almost every day since April, the beginning of April. I think that I'm going to go ahead and buy a leather cover, maybe for my birthday. But yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching.